go.
Last summer I taught an undergraduate Level 4 Philosophy of Mind class to 20 Level 3 sixth form students of mixed ability at a local sixth form college. My aim was to introduce them to the fundamental principles of metaphysics so that they could understand the difficult concepts of philosophy of mind. Now, I knew that as they had varied academic abilities and because of the conceptual difficulty of the subject, I knew that I had to be imaginative in the way I designed the course to fully engage the less academic students. And so I designed my teaching sessions to try to involve them in active learning by trying to make it fun through the use of starter exercises, quizzes, group problem-solving exercises and kinesthetic activities that required them to move around the room to complete tasks. Now that I've been introduced to the various theoretical frameworks employed on this course to evaluate student learning, and with my new understanding of the tools of critical reflection, I'm able to look back at the way I designed the course with a different pair of eyes. I'll be teaching the course again this summer, but will approach it quite differently. This time I'm going to have an emphasis on learner-focused critical reflection. So, what are my reasons for the redesign? Using Brookfield's autobiographical lens, although I had designed the course to be accessible to different abilities, I've not included methods to test the prior knowledge and learning development, and importantly, consider provision for students' variable support needs. To inform my redesign, I recently asked several students for their views of their experience of the design and delivery of the course. I asked them, how easy was it for you to access the learning? Did the course support your different learning styles and abilities? Did you feel there was a supportive learning environment? If not, how could I improve the design and the delivery of the course to do so? Which parts of the course did you enjoy most or find most interesting? And lastly, were there any parts that you found particularly difficult? Now, the feedback I received from the students was interesting and not all what I expected. So the consensus was that learning was accessible. The general view was that the use of different media supported varied learning styles. Now, what I was surprised about and pleased that I had the feedback from them about was the provision of the supportive learning environment. This was the area that they expressed least satisfaction with. Now, to achieve this, the students suggested I focus questioning more evenly across the class and ensure all students were involved in discussion. Also to ensure that all the students have fully understood the ontology under discussion before moving on to the next topic. Several students reported that the way the mind-body problem was framed helped them to understand it in the context of their other studies, so to integrate it really with their other studies, for example, psychology. Some students were able to grasp the major metaphysical principles quite well, but others struggled, some considerably. So there's quite a wide range of understanding. So evaluation of feedback, well, major findings, I need to scaffold learning and to create a more supportive learning environment to facilitate this. So my focus will be on these requirements in the redesign. So methodologies. Which theories will I use to redesign the course? The first one is going to be threshold concepts from Mayer and Land 2005. By thinking about metaphysics as a threshold concept, and a particularly troublesome one at that for several students who reported being lost or stuck using Mayer and Land's terminology, I can redesign the course to help students across the particularly troublesome threshold here where they were getting stuck, so facilitate their learning across the liminality of the threshold. How will I use threshold concepts theory? Well, in lesson plans I'll more clearly set out the structure of the ontology, the grammar. I will now design formative assessments to help students through the difficult epistemological transition by acknowledging students' varied patterns of engagement with the course and their different learning styles. I'd add to this appropriate feedback to the students on their formative assessment and then put further reflection at the design stage, so that we aim for constructive alignment between learning and teaching activities and assessment. Based on student feedback, I would also focus on this, I think, as this would help the students who experience the most difficulty in making the epistemological transition to the deeper understanding of metaphysics required for progressing on this course. So, second methodology is Biggs 3Ps model from 1996. So how do I design in support? By making use of Brookfield's lens of the student's eyes, I can also reflect on their feedback to think about how I can incorporate it to provide a more inclusive and supportive learning environment. To put student support into a critical framework, Big's 3Ps models helps us to do this. Now, the interaction between presage and process is of most interest, I think, as this is a dynamic system that produces the learning outcome and, of course, heavily influenced by teacher interventions. So as students noted that I need to improve support, I can improve my interactions with the students to help them meet their learning objectives as follows. Check understanding by formal means, make careful use of scaffolded and differentiated questioning according to ability, design space for greater reflection and discussion, and ensure all the students are given an opportunity to contribute. So, in summary, my redesign will include the following. Thanks for listening to my presentation.